feeling the embrace of love, feeling the stream, the flow of love through us. Father, Mother God, we give thanks for this opportunity to be aware of your presence. In this moment of thanksgiving, we are lifted. We are transformed. And for this realization, we give thanks. And so it is that together we say, Amen. Thank you for the water. So now for the great question. Now that's not the question of, hey, that's a great question, but rather it's a question about the greatness, the marvel of it all. Too often we go from day to day, it's, time to get up. Oh, I need to fix coffee for me to be awake. And we go through the humdrum of our day. We get home. If we've gone somewhere, we get home and we decide, well, what is it that I need to do now? And we make whatever day end, hopefully on a peaceful note. And we get up the next day and do it again. Today I'm going to not follow our typical path during the talk because I'd like to spend a few minutes to just help us wake up, to open our eyes, to open our realization to what an incredible, and I mean that as unbelievable, what a marvelous miracle this existence is. Let us begin. Oh, great universe, for just one moment, please remove all confusion from this world. Pop. And if we acknowledge that, that is us, right? The marvel, the majesty of this experience of life is confusing. Why me? Why now? Why are we in this community? Why is this community alive and well? Why is this planet here? Why is the sun there? Why is the universe as it is now? Physicists have come to a consensus. I won't say 100% because I don't think you can ever do that in a body of thinking people. But they have come to a fairly great consensus that this universe was born 13.7 billion years ago. Now, billion, that's a hard number to fathom, but 13.7 billion years ago, and then it was energy. It was all energy, and then it condensed into particles of matter, and then those particles of matter attracted each other, and they formed globs of matter, and that globs of matter took on gravity, and that gravity brought in more globs of matter. And so we have this universe speckled with existence, with stuff. And lo and behold, some of that stuff became animated and started to breathe and started to think and started to consider the great question. The great question, in fact, is something that humankind has pondered ever since the eyes were cast from the horizon up into the night sky. And so, what does this universe look like? Let's take just a moment. I want to ease. I'm not going to throw these numbers at you. I want to ease these numbers at you because I think that this really puts the question into perspective. And that is that the moon is 75 times the distance from L.A. to New York, or from New York to L.A. The sun is 400 times that distance. The nearest star is 250,000 times the distance to the sun. Think about that. 250,000 times the distance from here to the sun. The nearest galaxy, beyond our own, the nearest major galaxy, is 500,000 times the distance to the nearest star. Boggling, isn't it? And the edge of the known universe is some 23,500 times the distance to the nearest major galaxy. Or 2,937,500,000,000,000 times the distance from the Earth to the moon. Or if you want to multiply that by 75, okay. That's a whole lot of stuff. I saw an article the other day which came out of one of the science magazines that once again another star has been discovered where in the dust around the star there was a methyl monocyclate, which is a precursor to RNA. It is an essential organic molecule that gives rise to life. And when we consider that for those solar systems, those star systems that have planets around them, just about everyone does, by the way, there is a certain fraction of those stars that have planets that are within the zone where water is liquid, where the distance from its star allows water to be liquid. And we know also that water is pervasive through the universe. So we consider, wow, how many times is there a planet within what's called the Goldilocks zone within this universe? And it's literally millions of times within this galaxy. And there are, as far as astronomers have been able to determine, there are hundreds of billions of galaxies in the observable universe. Wow. So, are we really the only living planet here in the universe? No. No, of course not. Anyone who believes that doesn't understand this and doesn't understand that we have observed the essential elements of life across the vastness of the universe. Okay, so, yeah, we haven't had a phone call yet with another civilization beyond Earth, but that's okay. It may be just as well. So we have this extraordinary existence. And now we come back to this concept that God was the creator of this existence. And I will not challenge that. I only ask you to question that. Oh, God is the creator of the universe. You know, we live through these 5 principles of unity. The premise is that there is one power and one presence, God the good omnipotence, in all the universe. And then we have the proposition that we are each the expression of God in this moment. That is, we are the harbors of the Christ. And then we have this process that we can test on a daily basis, that the thoughts we hold in mind manifest in our experience, and our life arises and results from the thoughts we hold. And we have the practice of prayer, meditation, denials, and affirmations, and we have the promise that if we put these principles into practice, we will realize both the proposition and we will substantiate the premise. And I'm absolutely comfortable with that. I'm absolutely comfortable that there is one power and one presence in the universe, God the good, omnipotence. And I'm also very comfortable with the fact that that is not a person. That is not a bearded individual in the Netherlands, in the heavens somewhere. I absolutely am certain that that is not true. But I am also certain that we can experience this marvel of the divine coming through us as we practice these principles, as we acknowledge that we are indeed the harbor of the Christ, that we are the expression of the divine, that we can marvel at, yes, I do have power over my life. Not necessarily in the events that happen to me, but in my response to the events that happen to me. And in that power that we have, we can engineer a fulfilling life, a life that at the conclusion we can look back and say, yes, I did it my way, and I did it in a way that was beneficial to others on this planet, on this speck of dust flying through the vastness, the void of space. So if we can accept that we have the opportunity to express the divine in this moment, why would we choose not to? If we have the power to be God expressing in this moment as love, as unconditional love, as compassion, as patience, if we have the power to be the expression of God right now, why not? We have that power. We can be that expression. And we can prove that indeed there is something greater than ourselves of which we are a part and which has an extraordinary means of transforming our lives if we choose. And it really doesn't matter how many miles it is to the edge of the known universe once we accept that we are the expression of the divine. But knowing that it's a long way out there, and knowing that there are many, 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 many worlds on which civilization exists, we can come back then to this moment and say, wow. Wow. Not only am I in this existence, not only am I the result of a series of extraordinary miracles that have led to this moment, but I am also the author of this next moment. I am the bringer of the miracles of this next moment. I am the messenger of God in this moment because I carry with me the message of love, of unconditional love, of the ability to transform another person's life by just offering a smile, by being willing in the moment of conflict to step back and take a breath and say, my God, thank you for this opportunity to be your messenger and bring unconditional love to the moment, to bring unconditional love to the relationship, to bring unconditional love into the life of one other person, and therefore transform that person's life. We have these great spiritual teachers, of which Jesus is the one that we typically quote most often, but we also have the traditions of the planet that have grown not into just the 7 major traditions, I'm told that this cough is coming from allergies. It's not just the incredible the cough drop for now. Thank you for being ready with that. So that's really the thing that I'd like to awaken in each and every one of us, including me. I mean, how many times do I go through the day saying, well, okay, what do I have to do today? Oh, and forget that, wow, just this next breath, it is a miracle. It is an extraordinary thing. And at least we get overwhelmed by all of the miracles that come into our realization. We can step back and say, I am that miracle. I am the miracle in this moment. I am the messenger in this moment. I am the expression of the Christ in this moment. And that I choose to be. We'll have our meditation. As we come into our meditation, let us come in with, I cast all my cares. As we settle into this moment, allowing our breath to be our focus. As we inhale, we appreciate this life-giving breath. And as we exhale, we release that which no longer serves us. But in releasing that which no longer serves us, we acknowledge that, what we've released serves our plants, serves the vegetation on this green earth. And so it's not about getting rid of something, but rather it is recycling something. It's about acknowledging that we are part of this web of life, this wonderful symbiosis of friends and family and community. Community and community. And the many communities that we're a part of and the many communities that inhabit this vast, beautiful planet. And we see each member of each community spread around the surface of this planet as being worthy. Yes, even those we consider to be mortal enemies, they are worthy. Can we get our hands around that? Can we acknowledge that unconditional love really means no conditions applied? Can we accept that, yes, indeed, as a messenger of God, judgment is not my responsibility? Living in this awareness of unconditional love, connected to those with whom we interact, and connected with consciousness itself. In this realization, we feel blessed. Assuming our responsibility as being children of God, the expressions of God in this moment, the harbors of the Christ. Accepting this responsibility, we step forth into this next moment in love. Love is our experience. We choose to continue it, loving in this moment. Loving in this moment. Loving in this moment. as we move through our day in love, we are truly transformed. And in this awareness, we accept the miracles that have brought us here and the miracles that will bring us forward. We are each that miracle. And for this realization, we give thanks. And as we come back into this time and space, let us come back with hallelujah.